everything. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us. We're just getting set up. Hello Facebook, we're streaming live on Facebook at the same time that we are going live on our YouTube Google channel. So Molly, if you want to just press your mute button for a moment.
I will.
Hello Facebook, we're streaming live on Facebook. So welcome everyone to our weekly Interior Wellness Show, our YouTube Google channel. Oh, so Molly, if you want to just hold on, I'm hearing myself. Tech issue. I'm hearing myself from 3 seconds ago. But you know, that's what we're talking about today in the show, is how you actually feel something that you went through before. Maybe it was a weekend, maybe it was 3 seconds ago, and how you integrate that into your life. We're also going to be talking about some fun wellness tips and some cool ideas that I've been having. And we have our special guest, Mollie Sommer, on today. And she is a really cool woman who I had the opportunity to meet at Mountain Spirit Festival this past weekend. And she's been a yoga practitioner for over 10 years, and she seems like a pretty cool lady. So I'm excited to dive into her life and learn more about her. So we want to hear from you. If you are live on Facebook, I want you to send one of those little thumbs across the live, or those little hearts. Please let us know that you're here. And if you are here on either Facebook or on our YouTube channel, we want your comments. That's how this show works, is that we have you interacting with us. This is for you. So if you have questions or if you have comments, we will answer them, and so will the other people watching. We'll be able to create kind of an interactive and fun thing where we are actually talking to each other rather than just having bystanders. So please let us know that you're here, whether it's live that you're here or even if it's after. If you are watching on Facebook, you won't be able to see Mollie. You'll have to click the link on the Facebook page. So there's this thing that's live on Facebook right now, but there's also a link, which I think will be in the next comment above us or below us. If it gets pinned, it'll be above us. And you can switch over from Facebook onto our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see and hear Mollie, which you'll definitely want to hear her. So make sure that you do that. Once I go over to Mollie, I will let you guys know on Facebook, and we'll actually end the Facebook Live. And that means if you want more, you have to come over onto our YouTube channel and watch the rest. You can watch this after as well. So if you're tuning in and you don't have time to watch the whole thing, you can just come back and watch it after. We're going to give you some great tips. We have some giveaways. We need those bags. I need my tech support. We have some cool giveaways for today. So for the best comments that we get, we're definitely going to be doing some giveaways of some really cool stuff that we have from Mountain Spirit Festival. If that comes around to me, I will show you what it is. Do we have stuff? There are these beautiful Sun Peaks bags, and there are a couple bracelets from Gypsy Ellie, and I think there's a book from Fran Banting. There's all sorts of these bags with all sorts of cool stuff in them. I think they're over by the front door. I just have to get my tech support team to find the bags because they're really cool. And so we're going to be giving those away, and those will go to somebody who asks great questions and gives great comments and tells us why that they deserve the bags. So that's what we're going to be doing in a little while on the show as well. So again, thank you for joining. Make sure you comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know your questions, and let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear about, and let me know future guests who you want to see on the show as well. So just want to say thank you again. So we're talking about integration today, and we're talking about how do you integrate when you've had an amazing experience. And I think that this is a really good topic for this time of year. How many of you maybe have just been with us at Mountain Spirit Festival, or maybe you've been in some other kind of retreat, or maybe coming up this summer, you're going to have a retreat experience or a workshop or a seminar, or even just a vacation. Do you ever find that sometimes you go on a vacation and you get away from it all, and then you come back and you feel like you've changed, something is different, even if you just went to the lake for the weekend, and you have a little bit of a hard time going back into the rest of your life? So what we're talking about today is, how do you make that transition, and how do you keep what you've learned with you? And I have a few things that I do that I'll share with you. And I want to hear from you. If you're watching, what do you do after you've had an experience, a time away that maybe was quite impactful and really resonated and you had some aha moments, what do you do afterwards in order to not lose it, and to not lose the experience, and to not just have had the experience but have it be isolated to that weekend or that day, but to take it forward into your life? And we're going to be hearing from Mollie about that as well. So I've been doing transformational events for over 20 years, and in both a personal and professional setting, and I've seen it from both sides. And one of the biggest things for me that I've learned is that it's natural to, the day after, feel a little bit of crash, whether it was a one-day event or in times that or if you've been traveling, or whether it was a 6-month experience that went on for quite a while. There is a transition that happens, and I think the single most impactful thing that you can do is know that you've had this uplifting amazingness, and there's a natural transition to come into a quiet, still place, and to accept that and be gentle with yourself. And you may have, during your impactful experience, been like, yes, I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to practice yoga every day, and I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to stand up for myself, or all the things that you've learned. And then you come back and you have that little bit of low point. That's a natural time for integration. And then guess what? You're going to be tested. So family members who weren't there with you will say things that maybe trigger you. And you're going to be like, how could they say that? It's perfect. It was meant for you to be tested. That peace and harmony that you gained during your weekend, whether it was at Mountain Spirit Festival or whether it's at some kind of training that is coming up for you, it is natural and good and right that you will be tested, and things in your life will come to meet you, and you'll have an opportunity to practice what you learned, to really put it into practice. So make sure that you do that. Take time. Know that things come down a little bit, and also that you'll be given opportunities to put it into practice. And then my third thing is to not move forward alone, but rather to move forward in a group. And so that's why we do things like this. After an event we'll come together and talk about it. So you can do that as well on the Mountain Spirit Festival event Facebook page. Type in what you learned. So I know that those of you who were with me during the speaker sessions, Mollie wasn't there, she was over at the yoga sessions, but those of you who were with me at the speaker sessions, after every person's talk, we took a moment to either write down or think about what something impactful that we learned from that was. And then we actually shared it with other people. And that's something that's really important that you can do, is to say out loud what you learned to somebody else. And even if that person doesn't even understand it at all, you could have been lying in a yoga class that Mollie taught, so blissed out after the whole yoga class, and you're in your shavasana and you had a realization. Write it down, share it with somebody who you know will just hold it with a lot of love, and keep it in your heart. Share it, write it, share it with people who you know will keep it with love, and not with anybody who might not be really supportive. And even if they're not supportive, guess what? We're not meant to have nothing ever happen or challenge us in our lives. We are meant to have challenge. So even if this week or any time after an event you feel like you're challenged, guess what? It's perfect. You are meant to be challenged. It's like working out. You wouldn't want to do it and not have any sweat, not break a sweat, or not have your muscles feel the burn, because that's where your growth is. And so you do this with your life. Put yourself in situations and then know how you react is up to you. So that's just a few things that I do to integrate, is know that you're going to be tested. Share it with people, and also just make sure that you're gentle with yourself and knowing that integration time is happening. So I hope that helps. I want to hear from you. So make sure to put your comments below and tell me what you learned from the weekend. What were your aha moments? What were your favorite moments? Even sharing something that was wonderful and fun, like, oh, I had this wonderful yoga class, or this amazing conversation with a new person. Share it in our Facebook group here anytime, even if it's not about Mountain Spirit Festival. In the Interior Wellness Facebook group, we want to hear from you guys as well. It's about creating community, and it's about doing it and feeling it and being in it together. And that's why we create events, is so that you can come and you can have your experience and take all that you can out of it, because you came for a reason. You came to the event to get your transformation. You paid for it. You took your time for it. So you want to get all you can out of it. And so doing the after part is how you get all you can from it. I'll tell you a little secret. It's kind of an accelerated learning thing. So this is a bit scientific. Have you ever read something where you're reading it or you're trying to learn something and it just goes like in one ear and out the other, basically? You don't even remember it. And that's because of our attention spans and how our brains actually work. So if you really want to learn something and you're reading it or hearing it, pause it, stop the book, and just think and repeat out loud, what did I just learn? Okay, I got this, this, and this. By doing that, it helps to imprint onto your subconscious mind what you've just learned. So sometimes we keep ourselves really isolated. I just learned this amazing thing. It's so spiritual and big. Guess what? Write it down. Say it to somebody else. You imprinted it onto your subconscious mind. It's actually a very simple and scientific process. And you can really affect your learning, and you can help yourself by doing that. And that's why we did it at Mountain Spirit Festival. I really encourage people to write things down and to share it with other people. So the best time to do that is right away. There are actually 3 best times to do that. So number 1 best time to do that is right away, within 10 minutes of learning something. You write it down and you share it, imprint it on your subconscious. Then you have to do it again 24 hours later. So 10 minutes later and then 24 hours later. Just write it down again. I remember this amazing aha moment that I had, and I'm rewriting it without maybe even looking at the previous one that you wrote. It could be the exact same thing. Find a friend. I learned these 5 incredible things on the weekend, and I want to tell them to you. And it's the next day, so it's 24 hours later. Again, this helps to more deeply imprint it onto your brain. And then the next time, guess, 10 minutes, 24 hours. The next primary time to repeat something, to integrate it into your subconscious, is 7 days. So 1 week later, integrate by writing it out and saying it out loud. Even if you say it to your dog or your cat or your plant, you can say, okay, let me just say this amazing thing that really helped to integrate into my life. Say it out loud to your dog, your cat, your plant, the sky, whatever, anybody that will listen. And by doing this, I promise you, you will feel like you've learned easier. We never learned these things as kids in school, but these are very important tools for learning, especially as adults. So make sure that you say those things that you learned 10 minutes later, 24 hours later, and 7 days later. And I know a lot of you will have amazing experiences. Some of you are going into yoga teacher trainings. Some of you are going to transformational events and workshops and retreats. And some of you maybe are just taking in online courses. So you can use that awesome tool to help you integrate by 10 minutes, 24 hours, 7 days. Say it, even if it's to a cat or a rock, just saying it out loud. And you'll notice that the best way to learn something is actually by turning around and teaching it. So think of it as teaching your cat this amazing thing for life transformation that you learned on the weekend. Or maybe it's something that you learned about yoga. Just teach it to somebody, tell somebody, and that will definitely, definitely help you to learn it. So I want to hear your experience of that. So again, comment. I want to hear how you integrate your learning. And if you tried out this thing that I'm telling you to do, it doesn't matter that it's been 2 days, just as long as you repeat it as many times as possible. I did a training a couple of years ago. I've done lots, but this particular one I did a couple of years ago. Every day for 30 days, I wrote all the things down that I had learned from this really impactful weekend. And the weekend itself was really impactful. The 30 days of writing down what I learned and what transformed me and what I wanted to integrate into my life is still having a ripple effect in my life now from those 30 days of writing for 10 minutes. So I promise you that by doing that, you will have some impact on your life. So I hope that you can learn from that and that you will integrate it, use it. Tell me how you feel about it. And I'm really excited to hear what Mollie has to say about it. She's going to be joining us here in a minute about what her experiences are with learning and what her experiences are with transformational events and how she integrates. So let's bring Mollie onto the show in a moment. At Facebook Live, I'm going to say goodbye to you. If you guys up at Facebook Live want the rest of the show and want to hear from Mollie, click on the link. It will be pinned to the top of our Interior Wellness Facebook page. So thank you guys on Facebook Live for watching. I'm going to end you. Done. And here we are still on our YouTube channel where we will carry on behind the scenes and we'll get into our conversation with Mollie. So Mollie, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I was so honored to be able to meet you finally this weekend. I think that that's part of one of the things that I love so much about events is that I get to hang out with all these really cool people and meet people I haven't met before. And we come together at these events. Sometimes it's just once every 3 to 6 months, but everybody sees each other and we really form a community.
It was, I can't thank you enough. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend. It was inspiring and loving, and the people that were just, it was magic. It was magic.
I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed it. So for our audience who might not have been up there with you, or even some people who were in your class will be watching this, let's hear more about you before we go into your how you integrate your experiences. So what is your background?
Well, my background, I've been practicing yoga for over, and yeah, I'm 39 now. So I've been practicing it for 19 years, a long time. And I've been asked to teach many times by my friends and pushed in that direction, but I was never ready to do it. And so this past year, the universe took me by the shoulders and shook me and changed my life, and I'm here. So now I've started a wellness company. I'm a local instructor, and I'm building retreats and teaching yoga and building a community.
I love that you say the universe took you by the shoulders. You couldn't say no. Tell us a little bit more about what's that like to know in your heart and your soul that's you're being guided to something, but kind of push it away for a while.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Yeah, it's those saboteurs. It's those little voices in your head that make you doubt yourself. That like your heart says this is what you love to do, this is where you should be, but those saboteurs are just so loud, and they're hard to ignore sometimes, or hard to quiet. And so for years I didn't have the faith in myself to travel this path. And last year I just had, one of those life events that shook me to the core, and I dropped literally down on my knees crying. And I said, I can't live like this anymore. I need help. I need to change my life. And literally the next day, my teacher training came into my life, and everything just fell into place, and it was perfect. And it's been nonstop, one thing after another since then. So it's nice. Yeah, it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm so incredibly grateful for it.
That is a beautiful living example of getting to that point where you're like, okay, I need help. Yeah. Show me. And then teacher training the next day came to you. So yeah, I think that can be really transformational.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So are you from BC Interior, or where did you come from?
I'm actually from Kamloops, but I've been living in a bubble. I graduated here, and I left after high school for a little while. I came back, and yeah, life just kind of swallowed me up, and was working around town. I went back to school to be an animal health technologist, so I was working in that field for a while, and then other jobs, and then family, and trails off of my path. So I've been here.
Nice. But, I think sometimes that happens, is that we go in, the path leads us. We don't know where it's leading us, and we're given along the way, we're given all the tools that we need. Somehow it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your experience at Mountain Spirit Festival. I know you started off with that, but I definitely want to hear more.
My experience with Mountain Spirit Festival was, I don't know, I still have a hard time putting it into words because there were so many messages, there were so many inspiring speakers. The yoga was beautiful. Um, and learning experiences for myself, learning to let go of my fears that I'm still learning to do that. Um, it was amazing. I can't say enough wonderful things about
Oh,
it.
good. For those of you who are watching who weren't there, Mountain Spirit Festival was held up at Sun Peaks Resort. It was so magical to hold an event because we've been doing events down in town for almost 10 years. And they're always wonderful. And it's just such an amazing experience to bring people together. But to have an event that was up the mountain was so special, just trees and fresh air. And
Yeah,
it really lifted us up out of our normal routines
yeah,
and let us let go into that being surrounded by nature and being in a completely different atmosphere.
yeah, absolutely. And nature is where I feel most connected to the universe and to the spirits and to the divine. And just being surrounded by that, it just makes it that much more powerful.
It really does.
Yeah.
And to do something that's completely different than what we normally do is also really wonderful. A lot of people, so many people there practicing yoga and coming to the speaker sessions who probably have a regular practice. And
Mm,
it's really amazing to do something in a different environment. I know for
yeah.
me personally, it was like challenged my normal way of doing things in that it was like, wow, we're moving up to this brand new location and I'm a little nervous. What are people going to think of it? And what's the response going to be like? And people were crazy about it. They were
Yeah.
so excited. And everybody's like, let's do it again next year for
Yeah.
sure. We're so excited. Like, it just
Yeah.
flows when you kind of like you said with your yoga training. It was like when you open yourself up to something for whatever reason,
Yeah.
it just goes, yes,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah. And like I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be massive. It's going to be an event that people come from all over for.
I
It's
definitely think so. I mean,
yeah.
already in this first one, we had people from Vancouver and Coast, and we had people from Calgary and other parts of Alberta and Okanagan. So it's really like it's going to turn into a wonderful event for Western Canada. I can
Yeah.
really see that.
Yeah, I can feel that too.
Yeah. And so many of us too are like, could see the vision, like, wow, this is going to be really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And it
beautiful.
was really special too to have all these people and teachers like yourself come out for our very first one and show their support and say like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
What was it like for you teaching? So we had the yoga sessions in the old Burfield Lodge, which I just think is so beautiful and it holds the history of Sun Peaks. For those of you who grew up in the area, you probably know that that's all there used to be up there were two small lodges. So what
Yeah.
was it like for you to be teaching there and especially in that lodge atmosphere?
It was lovely. Like the windows with all the light shining in and it was a perfect amount of space for the class. I taught the first sun salutation class first thing in the morning, and it had a great turnout. Um, and the flow went well, and everybody could hear. And yeah, it was nice. I actually had never been in that lodge because I didn't start skiing up there until after the Burfield um, wasn't the main area, and so I'd never been in there, and it's a beautiful little spot.
Yeah, it was really pretty. I remember I walked in the morning just before you started teaching, and the sun was streaming in, and the space had been set, and it was like, wow, we've created something amazing. And just
Yeah.
meeting you there in that way for the first time in person was very, very cool. And the fact that that first class, 7:30 in the morning, up on the mountain, was full was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was really great. And just setting the atmosphere for the day, it was I was very honored to be able to do that for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So, why do you think it's important or a benefit, or what would people love about going to a yoga class that's outside of their normal routine and up on a mountain?
Um, Well, I mean, we're always looking, or I am anyways, and people in general should always be looking to expand their horizons and learn new experiences. And going to a yoga up on the mountain like that is just, it just adds that extra level of specialness. And um, it's just stepping out of your comfort zone, right? Which is where we grow. And yeah, growth is good.
Absolutely. Let's have
Yeah.
t-shirts with that on it. Growth is good, people. Step outside. It's the only way we grow. I think that
Yeah.
we forget to step outside our comfort zones. And we were
Yeah.
actually talking about that a lot in the speakers room on Saturday, about stepping outside of our comfort zones, doing things that we're not that aren't regular, because that's where you grow.
Yeah.
I like that. It's very cool. So you taught again on Sunday in the outdoor market and the free yoga outdoor Sunday classes. What was that like?
That was good. It was nice because it was outside and the sun wasn't shining too much, so it didn't get overly hot. And it was nice to be able to have that casual atmosphere. You never know who's going to show up, and you would make adjustments for your class based on who does come. And yeah, it was nice.
We had people coming
Yeah.
up saying like, "Oh, is this going to happen every Sunday?" And I was like, "No, this is just part of Mountain Spirit Festival. It's only once a year." But people were really excited about that, and we had a really nice atmosphere with that part of the market and all the yoga happening too. It was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So our topic for today that we're talking about is how to integrate after you've had a deep experience. And I'm sure you've had this in your own life, and especially with like yoga teacher training and things that you've done. How do you integrate a big experience after the fact?
Um, well, you were mentioning like that little bit of a lull. I'm kind of the opposite. Like I am like a yoga hangover. And it's just like it's glowing and it's just I'm like my cup is billowing over, right? And so I write about it. I journal a lot. Um, and I talk about it with everybody that I see on the street or meet in my classes or whatever, and tell my family about it. And you're right, you do get challenges. You get people that don't necessarily believe in what happened or didn't experience the same thing as you, um, which make those little saboteurs and those little doubt things start turning. But if you had continued faith in yourself and that you did learn something and you experienced it, right? So yeah, um, yeah, I just journal it out and talk about it.
Those are good tips. Journal it out and talk about it and keep going to events. I remember a long time ago, I once had somebody say to me, like, you basically just need to go to one event and then you're done for life. But I think
No.
that we definitely need to keep going
Yeah.
multiple times a year to connect with like minded people and to get our cup. I love that you said that, our cup full to billowing out. So
Yeah.
you just need to keep filling your cup up.
Yeah, definitely. We give ourselves so much to other people and our family and friends and our jobs, and we need to have experiences that fill us up so that we can give more to others.
Absolutely. And I think that it would be cool to do even quarterly, like make sure you do something every season that
Yeah.
lifts you up out of your regular life and fills your cup back up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Do you have anything coming up for yourself in the next 6 months or so, that another thing that you're going to be going to?
Yeah, actually, I'm putting on women's retreats myself. I've got one running in August and one running in October, and those are in Revelstoke. And same idea as this past festival. It's nature and yoga and meditation outside, and it fills me up.
Sounds wonderful. Tell me more about the August ones. What
The
is the dates and what do you do at them?
Sure. It's called Phoenix Rising Retreat. It's at a little bed and breakfast in Revelstoke that I found by fluke like 15 years ago with my sister. We were lost and we needed directions, and we found this driveway and happened upon this beautiful bed and breakfast right down on the water. And so when I got into teaching and thought retreats was my path, or knew retreats was my path because the messages were so clear, I just thought, well, I wonder if Mulville Creek is still open. And sure enough, it is. And so I've built this wonderful women's weekend to restore energy and give back to self. It's a weekend of yoga and meditation and hiking. And yeah, it's going to be pretty beautiful. Everything's included. I want women to come and be able to, drop their keys at the door and just bliss out all weekend long.
That sounds wonderful. And I agree. We need to do things like that where it's just like that smaller group and go for the weekend. And especially in the summer, go somewhere where you can experience nature and be guided by wonderful teachers like you. Thank you. Just let go. Just let go.
Yeah. And fill your cup back up so that you can continue on.
Exactly. So important. Yeah. So for everyone who's watching, we're going to put your website and all your links below. But if somebody wanted right now to type it in and check you out, where do they go?
They find me on Facebook at Mollie Sommer Wellness.
Wonderful. Perfect. Yeah. And we'll put that link here as well so that you can connect with Mollie on Facebook. Thank you. So Mollie, tell us a practice that you do in your life, something maybe it's daily or weekly, just something that our audience could do in their own lives this week or today even to keep them inspired and to keep them healthy.
I take 5-10 minutes every day to do some breathing, and it's something that we don't do enough of. We go through our day and we only use the top third of our lung capacity, and there's that bottom 2/3 sitting there full of junk and just waiting to be used. So I sit and I close my eyes and I come into awareness of where I am, and I just start breathing, and I take deep breaths and I go through my belly and I fill up my lungs, and then I just let it out. And I do some breath work every single day, and it clarifies your brain, it energizes your body, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it in the car, in the parking lot before you get out and go in for work. You can do it after you drop off the kids at school. It doesn't take long, and it does amazing things for you.
I love that. So there you have it, everyone. Your tip from Mollie is just those deep breaths, cleansing breaths. How long would you suggest that people do that for?
5-10 minutes. That's all it takes.
Perfect. So they could even set a timer on their phone, make sure that it happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just come into your awareness of your body. Just watch where you are. Feel your senses. Just, body awareness is a huge benefit.
Wonderful. And also, so taking that into your lives, everyone, and also Mollie is a yoga teacher. And as you know, I'm a big yoga advocate too. So go to yoga classes, body awareness. That can help you integrate as well. Do breathing exercises. And you can go to classes in town, or you can just do it on your own. Don't think that you actually have to go anywhere to do 5-10 minutes of yoga.
Yeah, that's right. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take that first step to take a yoga class. We all have to start somewhere, and we're not there to judge you. And yoga is for everybody. It's not just meant for healthy people who have been doing it for 10 years. It is for a lifestyle for everybody.
I love that you say that because I agree fully that it is for everybody and everybody. You do not have to be able to touch your toes.
No.
Or to try yoga. You do not have to be able to have a quiet mind to try meditation. No. That's the purpose. You don't have to be relaxed in order to go for a massage. It's the other way around.
Exactly. You exercise your mind just like you exercise your body, and it will quieten with time.
Yeah, definitely. Are you teaching classes around BC Interior on a regular, weekly basis?
I am. I teach at the Happiness Center in Kamloops. It's 203-242 Victoria Street. I teach Monday mornings at 9 a.m., Wednesdays at 5, and Friday mornings at 9 a.m.
Wonderful. So everyone check Mollie's classes out. They can probably find more information on that on your Facebook page.
Yes, absolutely. And the Happiness Center as well.
And the Happiness Center has a great website as well. So
Yeah.
make sure you check out all that information and connect with Mollie. And for those of you who got to meet Mollie on the weekend and have classes with her, I want to hear from you, your comments. How was your experience of that class? And any thoughts that you have about what it would be like for you to integrate that breathing tip that Mollie gave us into your lives. So put that in the comments. And if you try it out, tell us the before and after. How did it feel to you? How did your body feel before you did that? And then when you did the breathing, 5 minutes of just slow conscious breathing, how did it feel after? And then we will comment, and Mollie will probably comment as well. She's on Facebook, so you can even tag her and we'll get her to check back into the Facebook comments and she can help to answer your questions about that. So make sure you do it. Make sure you comment. So Mollie, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, and it was nice to finally get you online.
I know, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I am so excited to have you at our future events, Interior Wellness Festivals coming up in October. And we'll just book you in for Mountain Spirit Festival next year, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
We're pretty much booked solid, everybody. So buy your tickets early.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful. So thanks so much. Great. You're welcome to hang out, or if you need to get going, you can, and I will get on with the rest of the show. So thanks again.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You're welcome. So we have this wonderful comment that came through. Deanna Deacon was one of our speakers, and somebody that she worked with asked this question through our Facebook page. So I will read it to you guys. And if you have questions too, you can put them on our Facebook page. You can put them in the comments below, whether it's live or not. So once you gather all that inspiration and excitement from a weekend like Mountain Spirit Festival, how do you reactivate those feelings when you're in your regular life of perhaps mundane or less than dreamy daily experiences? I think we've talked about it quite a bit, and Mollie and I both mentioned it, like making sure you go back and do more things. It's not that you only have to wait once a year for Mountain Spirit Festival, which if you were only going to go to one event in the year, make it that one. But go every few months to something, like take the time out, and there are different reasons for different things. Things like Mountain Spirit Festival and Interior Wellness Festival, and those of you who come to Wanderlust with me as well, those are big, amazing events, but you also need to try out the little ones too. So things like the retreat that Mollie mentioned coming up in Revelstoke in August, amazing opportunity to come together with a smaller group and dive even deeper. Every time that you do something, it reactivates, and like Mollie said, fills your cup so that it is just flowing over. So you need to keep doing those things for yourself and connect with other people. Share your story, share what you're going through, and share your learning and your lessons. So those are the biggest things that I think that you could do. And as we mentioned earlier, make sure you're sharing it. Make sure you're taking time to integrate. Make sure you're just letting yourself have that glow. I love that Mollie said that, like whatever that glow is for you after an event, don't like push it down or think that you shouldn't be absolutely shining and excited. People won't understand, but let your glow shine out, because you don't know, somebody else might be like, oh, I want that. And they might go to something, and maybe it's just what they needed to change their life, to get healthier, to get on a different path that's healthier. So share out the things that you're learning. It's really, really important. So I hope that really helps you all with how to integrate into regular life when you've come off of an experience. Also know that the regular life might not be all that there is, and that what we're doing when we come together for events, and for if you go do your yoga training, or if you go traveling somewhere magical, that's life. Your regular life is what you do, maybe to support the magical stuff that you do, just to earn the money to fund yourself. So it's like you are your own private funder for the magical and amazing experiences that you'll have in your life. So I hope that really helps you. There is a couple of things that I wanted to shout out for you. There is mid-August Stokefest coming up at Akashic Ranch. So that's another really great thing that you can mark on your calendars. Summer gets so busy. You could pretty much do something every single weekend, and you should. Why not? So Stokefest at Akashic Ranch is a wonderful event, and that is run by an amazing woman named Marianne. You can check it out on their website, and it's in the magazine, and it's on our website, interiorwellness.com. If you click events, we have this really cool event page now where all the events that are happening in BC Interior in terms of health, wellness, yoga, healing, and spirituality are there for you to check out. So you can find Stokefest there, and it's a really sweet event. So you should check that one out and all the other ones that are happening. Now, I have an idea for you all. When you're going out to all these amazing summer events, and some of you are going to the Canada Day celebrations coming up this weekend, I hope that you will find Christina Benson there, by the way. She has her beautiful Christina Benson art, leggings, and she does them, like she does all the paintings and then somehow finds a way to put them on leggings, and they're made in Canada and they're eco-friendly, and which is so cool. So find her there. Back to my point. You're going to all these events, Canada Day in the park, maybe you're going camping, maybe you're going with your family to the lake, maybe you're going on picnics, and it's just summertime and it gets hot and we are just in the fun flow of life, and you're like, let's go get smoothies, or let's go get an iced cappuccino, or like one of those blended frothy drinks from the Art We Are or Starbucks or wherever your favorite place to go is. My question is, do you get it in a plastic cup? Do you do that all summer long? So I had this thought, and I thought, this is important enough to bring onto the show because it's summertime and it is a prime time for plastic cups. Please don't do it. There are alternatives. There are billions of tons of plastic going into our landfills. So we can have all these amazing experiences and do yoga classes and events and all of it. But we come out the other side and we go, what can we do for the planet? So one simple, awesome tip that you can do for your karma to the earth this summer is to carry your own cups around. I've got a couple of examples. Where are they? Oh, here. So say no to plastic. This little guy I love. I used to get plastic ones of them, and they would break and I would recycle them, like reusable plastic. Maybe they would last for a few months. This has lasted for probably about 6 years so far. It's stainless steel and it's amazing. I'm not necessarily promoting where you get it, whatever. I don't care where you get it. The plastic ones weren't working so well for me because I like to chuck things around. Stainless steel is amazing, and stainless steel straw. So it's also healthier. There's no, yes, most plastics don't have BPA in them anymore, but plastic's plastic. Don't want to drink out of it all the time. So make sure that you get yourself one of these. You can find them at most stores. You can definitely find them at Starbucks. They're one of the only places I know. Whether you like Starbucks or not, they have great reusable cups. So grab yourself one of those. Another great smoothie cup that I use are these jars. These just like regular pint jars. They're awesome. It's kind of a hard size to find. We have some. If you want one, message in the Facebook page. Maybe we'll give one away. And they have this great little thing, and you can clean them out really easily. Is another thing that I like. So if you're doing smoothies and you're doing iced coffees and whatever else that you're doing all summer long, please carry your own carry your own reusable cups and mugs. Do your part. Make a difference. It's summer. Don't be wasteful. The other thing is a travel cup like this. It keeps cold things cold too. It's not quite as big as the other ones for smoothies, but coffee and tea. So all you people, I want to see you making sure that you use your reusable cups as much as possible. Maybe you're not perfect, but making that difference of doing it once or twice, it can really make a difference. And spread the word about that. If you're going out with a friend and you know that you're going to go get a smoothie and then go for a walk, say, hey, let's meet at that smoothie place and then go for a walk, but let's make sure that we bring our own smoothie cups or jars so that we're not creating more waste in the environment. It just takes one person to make a difference. Next thing I wanted to tell you about on the show is, this is random. It's not even related to integration, but what the heck? Hidden sugar. I guess it's speaking about smoothies, because you can make your own as well. I recently got this tub of stuff, which I'm returning, and there's a reason for it. I was like, wow, great. greens and superfoods and non-GMO and vegan and raw, and like, wow, I was so excited. And it's got like such a list of amazing stuff in it. And then I had some of it because I read over the list, because I'm always really careful of what's in there. And I was like, there's only good ingredients in this, and it's amazing. So I'm going to try it. So I bought it, put it in a smoothie, and was like, oh my God, this is the best smoothie I've ever had. It's so delicious. And I was like, wait a minute, how can this smoothie be so delicious? And it's just greens and my stuff. So upon further inspection, I looked and still couldn't see any ingredients. I was like, there's got to be sugar in this. I still couldn't see any ingredients. But then I read a little bit closer and closer and closer, and I found saccharose at the end of the list. And I was like, what is saccharose? It's icing sugar. So I had one drink. This is going back. Be careful, read the ingredients. But I think that sometimes they'll put on ingredients that are just like nuts, because people don't know what saccharose is, or they don't know these longer named things. If they wrote ingredients, all the green stuff plus icing sugar, I would never have bought it. And it was hidden as well. So make sure that you read those things. If you can't pronounce an ingredient, most of you have your phones with you, look it up. Another one, similar thing happened. I was like, coconut milk powder, so nice. I'm going to use some of this because it's like not sugar, and it's really healthy, yummy, delicious, healthy fat, and blah, blah. And I, same thing, had a drink and was like, how can this possibly taste this good? All the ingredients are coconut. And then I looked upon closer look, and it has maltodextrin in it, which again is just sugar. So even things that are natural, organic, non-GMO, just be careful of sugars. So when you're making your own smoothies to take with you this summer to your amazing events that you're going to go to, in your own cups, just make sure they don't have sugar. It's just a random thing that I thought I'd put on the show for you, because summer is coming. So I hope that you all enjoyed this show. Make sure that you put your comments down below. Send me pictures of you using your cup or your mug. We're going to do some giveaways for commenters. So in the Facebook comments, tell us how you integrate an amazing, impactful experience that you've had, and then you go back into your regular life. What do you do? What are your tips for everybody? We're going to be giving away some bags. These are from Sun Peaks that we had on the weekend, and there's some cool stuff in them. There it is. Let's go and see what's in the bag. Sacred Moon calendar. Beautiful. There are some coupons and treats and yummies, and from Gypsy Ellie, there are these beautiful, there it is, these beautiful mala bracelets from Gypsy Ellie. So there's a couple of those. She was at our event with us. So we have a couple of these beautiful bags full of some really cool little treats and prizes and some coupons. There's a $100 gift certificate and a couple of other things that you'll just get to see in a beautiful Sun Peak shopping bag. So you can comment about how you integrate, or you can comment about how you make sure that you avoid hidden sugars, because they're everywhere. Or I think we'll give a bigger prize away. Maybe we'll even give one of these beautiful cups away. The cup doesn't come with this little jar jacket. It just comes plain, and there's a smoothie left over in there that I was drinking earlier. So you don't get this cup. You get a brand new one. Why you think it's important to reuse, and how you make sure that you don't put plastic into landfills when it's not needed, or even the recycling bin. It's just a whole creation, and recycling of plastic still has an impact. So you can answer any of those questions. You can comment on any of that stuff. And we have a few of these goodie gift bags to give away. So we will be giving more than one. So make sure that you put your comments below, either in the YouTube channel or in the Facebook. You need to be in British Columbia interior to win these gifts. So sorry guys who are watching who are international. I know that you love and follow us too, but you can't win these because we're not going to ship them to you. We have to drop them off somewhere. So we have a few gifts for you to win. We want to hear from you and hear your comments, hear your feedback and your tips, because you never know, somebody who's listening, watching, and reading might learn from you. So make sure you put your comments in there and let us know that you're here. Let us know you're part of the community. So this is your weekly Interior Wellness live show. I also want to hear from you what you want us to talk about next week. I've got an idea of a couple of amazing guests who have really cool events coming up the following weekend. So if you want to see anybody in particular on the show, let me know. If you want me to talk about anything or give you tips, ideas, recipes, or whatever, this is for you. So let me know. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you will join again. We're trying out different times. Today was at 4 o'clock. Last week was at 7. I want to hear from you what your ideal time to watch live is. Is it noon? Is it 4? Is it 7? Is it some other time? So let us know. And I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week. I hope that you enjoy your Canada Day or 4th of July celebrations. And I hope that you'll be using your travel cup. Bye, everyone.